white to play in today's daily puzzle, which seems a bit tricky because at first glance it looks like we can just capture this rook on d6 with the bishop, winning the exchange. And indeed, this move is decent for white. After bishop takes d6, bishop takes d6, white is up the exchange, but black does have a reasonable amount of compensation here with the two bishops, a pawn for the exchange, and the pawn on a4 being a protected pass pawn. So white maybe is a tiny bit better here, but much stronger is the solution to the puzzle. White has a much more powerful move, and that is queen f6. An absolutely genius infiltration as white sets up the killer threat bishop to e5, after which checkmate on h8 or g7 in case of bishop g7 would be unstoppable. So in case of rook takes d3, for example, white would ignore the rook and play the move bishop e5, setting up this, once again, unstoppable checkmate. Black can give a couple of checks, but they're not very helpful. Eventually, the game is decided. So queen f6, very powerful move, and just like that, black has no decent defense to this idea of bishop to e5. For example, bishop to g7 can be tried attacking the queen, but now white wins mathematically after rook takes rook on d6, also hitting black's queen. So note that white has already picked up a rook here. So if bishop takes queen, rook takes queen, white is up a full rook in this endgame and completely winning. And if black plays queen takes d6, a tricky desperado idea, where after bishop takes d6, bishop takes f6, we would end up in this endgame, where black actually keeps their extra pawn, because we both gave up our queen for the rook. Instead, winning for white after queen takes d6 is the counter desperado idea, queen takes g7 check, where after king takes g7, bishop takes d6, white has picked up an extra piece in the process and now has a winning endgame with the extra bishop. So queen f6, very strong idea, followed by bishop e5, playing for mate, and then some nice tactics to finish it up here after bishop g7, rook takes d6, queen takes d6, and then the very important queen takes g7 desperado tactic, king takes bishop takes d6, and white wins the game. Shout out to Chess Tiger 787 for the daily puzzle inspiration.